Katie here, and this is going to be a very interesting video. This is my sticker book. So this is a off-white, like white Moterm I got a while ago, and I think 3 years ago. And so I really haven't updated or upgraded my sticker system at all. And I just remembered I have one little sticker book, sorry, over here. Normally I can fit this in and I can't. So this just has some ones that I have stuck in here. Why is this in here? I don't know. This should be, anyway. I'm going to be organizing my stickers, and this is going to be one of probably a couple videos because I have nothing planned for what this is going to turn into. I don't really have I've just used this because I had an extra. I don't like the tabs. I don't like how much is in here. I don't like a lot of this. But it's usable. It is functional right now, and it didn't bother me enough. But now that it's getting hard to close, I realized that there was a bunch of stickers I was saving in here that I don't want to use in my current planner or future planners. I can't picture it. I thought I would, and I'll kind of explain it here. So in the front here, I have like little stickers, and then I have these cute little house ones. And then I get into, these are all, let's see. These are all sterling ink here. So, and I have them organized by date. So it's the last kind of 3 years, although I have 0/2026. So this is like December 25. And that's when, I love her work, and I absolutely love that she draws all these. She comes up with all the designs, and I think they're beautifully unique. I don't think they're in any way bad, but I just haven't been resonating with the current ones as much. They're going to evoke all stickers are going to have this connection in some kind of way, and that's why you kind of like them, right? That's why you purchase them, because you're like, oh, I really like those. Like when she did the Alice in Wonderland. I'm not a huge Alice in Wonderland, but I thought I loved how unique it was, and the fact that it had little rabbits on it. I was like, no, I love rabbits. That's one of my loves. So I did get some of those. Didn't like the May one so much, and that's okay. They're not all going to be these amazing, hits, right? Because she's doing them every month, every single month. And to me, I said that in a weird accent. To me, that's just so much work. That really is. And I admire that tremendously. And I think every once in a while she brings back maybe a drawing or so or two, or maybe she does them completely fresh. I thought I had seen just maybe here or there, maybe and maybe she redraws one of the ones that she already did. I love this one, the October one, from this last year. And I thought December was really pretty too. So there's this whole chunk right here and excluding the numbers, I use those occasionally. But then when you look at here's what I have for spring, I have these, that's it. And I don't like these dividers anymore. They were functional, but I have these, and then I have some PET tapes, and then I have for fall, I have some here, these two, and then this is all my holiday Christmas, and then that's it. And then I have some other random ones. Oh, I didn't know where to put this one because I wanted to be able to see it, and I will be using this shortly for summer. Yeah, so this was kind of that. And then I don't mind keeping these. These are all just shape stickers. And then I use these for days off for school. And then I have all these back here that are kind of like set up. These are definitely all my setup ones. I have months here, and this is more like, oh, you know, moon stuff. Anyway, seasons, that kind of stuff. And so I just kept looking at this front part going, I never reach for these anymore. And even I'm just like, well, mix it up, try it out. But I can't. There's something about it that's not resonating. So my dream was always starting with this January one. This January of 2024 was one of my favorites. And it was quite a departure. She really kind of started mixing things up then, because before that, in this October of 23, oh my gosh, I keep coming back to this one. Now, this one I would probably pick up and use again. But I kept going back to like some of these little ones I think I could go back to. But this was such a strong set. It's kind of hard to mix these with other things. I also wanted to kind of bring up here what I've noticed in the sticker industry, and I'm not saying anything is negative or positive. I would love to hear from you. I love people who make their own stickers. So with these, or a long time ago, Symposi Press, I believe she did all her own because they all looked like in the same style. And this was from quite a while ago. A lot of people do license their artwork. And I wasn't a big a fan of that because I could tell from collection to collection, or even within the same sticker sheet, that the style didn't match, and it didn't resonate with me. And I was like, well, it's fine. Like, you're going to see, like, if it had cozy time, right? And it had, tea, a cup of tea, it had like a cat, and then it had maybe a warm chair or something. If you don't hand draw, then, pulling those from licensed artworks that, you pay for, and then you have the license to reproduce them, is totally legal. And the more that you kind of match the styles together, the more cohesive it's going to look when you put it on a page. Or, if they're not as cohesive, you just use them in different spreads, right? Or different places in your journal, and it doesn't matter. Or you combine them with other things that you have and make them look more consistent, right? It's a whole up to you thing, right? But now that AI has entered the chat, right, that it has come along, I definitely have stickers from all different kinds, hand-drawn, licensed, and now AI. And to me, I wanted to dabble in it. I wanted to see what I felt about it. And the concept, from me as an artist, I have my two takes on it. Like, obviously with AI, they are referencing art that exists to put together new art. I am one who I was never strong with hand drawing at all, but I had the photographic eye. Like, I do photography, and so I also know how to do like page layout and photo manipulation, so that when you're placing things together, if it's just a collage digitally, or if it's I would make most of my artwork for websites and print. So I would know where to kind of go to get really good references or really good photographs to transform them into something that is original for my clients. But again, you are licensing them, and then you're using them. And I tried to get, my biggest thing was I would sit down for quite a while to find consistency in all of the artwork and photography in my projects as possible, that they almost all look like they were all done by the same photographer. When you can't, right? I was doing a lot for small businesses who can't afford a photographer to go out and do a bunch of photography for them, although I do highly recommend it. Like the photography I have paid for my own business has been such a good investment. Like I keep going back to those photos year after year. I would love to get some updated ones, but now I'm not in the same country as my photographer anymore. She's amazing. She possibly could come here, but the stars would have to align on that. Anyway, so just to say, I understand like the artistic industry of this all. And, excuse me, and just seeing that sometimes you're just limited in what you can do. And I see the value of licensing or taking source material and then referencing it to create your own. I get a little fuzzy on the AI stuff because it's not you turning, like you can use a photographic reference for your drawing. That's what Catherine does. Not specifically. She's not like drawing an exact photograph, but she's looking at photos of architecture, of flowers, of ephemera, of like all the little things here. So I wanted to preference that a little bit here because I am looking at my sticker collection a little differently. And I did want to talk about that, you know, at the beginning here. And then when I do some follow-ups with this, I'll, you know, be doing more like hands-on stuff. So going back to my dream was, and I got, so I had this old Take a Note from 24 box. So because I really liked this box and I wanted to bring this over when we moved. And for some reason I thought this was a 24, but then I just got this out today. I'm like, oh, it is a 25. So it's only last year's, but I never used it. I put, this paper in, I glued it to the back and I glued it here. So just on there. Did I glue it backwards? I don't know. It's glued down now. I might have glued that backwards. Why does that look different? Anyway, that's not why I'm here. I'm going to research that later. But yeah, there's like nothing in here because this was my backup. And I ended up using a twine some paper that did not put out anything this year. So my dream was, and what I started seeing 2 years ago, yeah, about 2 years ago now, was that there were theme stickers here. I know this is weird. This is my autism speaking right now. What I saw was the current, and I wish I had done this at the time. And so this is what this series is kind of about, is like, I didn't do it at the time, so I'm kind of recreating it now. So this specific, it's the washi strip, so WS, that a lot of people put right here on the month. Someone went through and did it for every single month, had it here, and then kind of decorated here for the 12 months. And then they used those same ones in the weeks. Oh, I penciled something in there. Oh, this was what I was watching. So I was watching some Queer Eye and Deadlock. Which Deadlock is about, I think it comes out next week. Anyway, it's a really funny show. So I thought, okay, what could I do with this? Because I thought I would use it this year. I didn't, to like renumber. And then I thought, well, what am I going to keep this around 8 years so that the dates match? I could. But by that time, I have a feeling things are going to change again. 8 years is a long time. So what I wanted to do was actually kind of fulfill my dream, was to put these in here as straight as possible. And then someone had taken a picture of it like spread out like this. And they had, as much as they could. I know I'm skipping a month there. But let's see if I can. They had a little fan of all the different, come here, kind of like that with all the different stickers. And I just thought that was the coolest thing. And I'm like, oh, I want to do that. I want to have that as kind of a collection. I'm such a, autistics love to collect. They do. I love to line up my collection. I love to kind of like fill it in. And that's what this is about. And so I also thought, I have seen Catherine's take on different weekly spreads, but I don't want to experiment with my current weekly spreads because I have to use them. So I thought, well, why don't I start experimenting with the weeks here when I don't have to worry at all about what any of these, and then I have a bunch of pages back here I can experiment with too. So it's kind of an experiment collection book. Let me know if you've seen anyone else do this. I know people play with layouts. So I have seen that. Like they just have an old one and they're just experimenting with layouts. And I just kind of want to do that. I don't know if it's going to be like a couple a week or I don't know. We'll see what I have time for. But I wanted to start with the months and I wanted to use up these stickers. I didn't want, because if I use this in my current one, it's not going to stand out the same. It's going to go to the next month. Well, they don't fit on the months as well in my current one, and I already decorated the whole year of months. So you see where like when I finally decorated all those months, I realized, oh, I can't do the collection that I was thinking of. But my other conundrum is I have 2 years worth. So what I did was I didn't get the January 25. I think I skipped that. Or no, it's right here. So I think I have them all for 24. See, I have May, April, May. This is 25 though. And I think I have the other April behind here. So that's the other thing. So I have 2 years worth. And I'm like, how could I? Yeah, see the other April's right here. This is a collection I want to use as a memory of these stickers. Is that rational? Is that? And I think I'm going to have some feelings after these are stuck down and going, oh, okay, I can't use these again. And because I look at this now going, okay, could I actually use this in my weekly? And I think here's the problem. I keep bumping the mic, I'm sorry. So it's very hard to use them here, the big vertical ones. I mean, I could, like along the side here. But then they're all mixed in. And there's something that's telling me to see all the Sterling ink within the Sterling ink system. I think that's what's calling. Because if I put this on the weekly here, again, the next week I'm going to have something completely different. And I mean, that's the nature. I love how all my months are. The months all feel like very consistent with each other, but all the weeks are just all over the place. Not quite as all over the place as last year. I think last year I had much more, but like they weren't going to fit. I mean, maybe exactly fit. Like it was actually coming up here. So they weren't really going to fit in this space. And it didn't feel like they should go here either. I like how open this was. And I want to keep going with this style right now. That's just how I'm feeling. Something lighter, something more airy, fits where I am personally. And I think these I'm treating more as an art piece because that's how I'm kind of seeing them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some music on. You're going to hear different music than me. And you're going to hear licensed music. And I'm going to put the 20. See, this is the other part. Like, should I put the 25 in the 25 and then try to search up a 24 somewhere just so that this matches? I don't think so. I don't think that's going to happen. I think what's going to happen is I'm going to start with 24 here. I'm going to do all the months for 24 because I know I have them. And then would I just keep going weeks for the 25? Like, so say this is, because that could possibly fit there. And then I could actually fan them out and see all the years. I'm not using any of the quarterlies. So that's a possibility of like, I'll erase that pencil I have in there. So I could have like just into like February here, weeks wise, because you only need 12 weeks and 12 months to kind of just put the whole collection together. And then after that, like from April on, I mean, I still have plenty of weeks to just mess with and plenty of open paper back here. And that's what I'm kind of wondering is like, because it's expensive to ship here now, but if I were in some way able to collect all the 26 ones, I could keep going in this book. And that book to me would be really special. And I would only buy like this set, this one sheet of each month. Like I love these collage ones and I love the corners, but I thought that was when I was going to experiment more. See, and the other thing is this is enough for like a whole week or the whole week or just the spread. I say the whole week or the whole month because I'm referencing this whole month. Like there's enough on here to decorate a whole month or a whole week. Like that's plenty. I know it's made, like the whole kit is to like use for the month, possibly for the quarterly, but for the month and for 4 weeks, right? That's, and you still have a bunch of leftover ones in those kits. So I think what would also be really cute is to put a sticker up here, you know, to have the matching stickers here. I wouldn't use this though. So I might keep in mind, like, is there one sticker for each month? So anyway, I just wanted to kind of explain a little of that. Again, 25, I'm going to have to pay attention to 24 just first because I know I have all those. I think I'm just missing some 25s. And I'm going to see how this whole process goes. And my hope is that I will get this a lot thinner and then I can stick this book back in here and then also put some of the, if there's just a few leftovers, put them in here. So this is definitely not going to be done today at all. Like this August one, I love this one. The other thing is that I collected these, the little paper squares that you could put like as decoration into your pockets, these, and I had them for every single month in 24, except for August. That was the one that I didn't get. And someone kindly, if you're watching, was so kind to send it, and then it never got to me. I felt so bad. I had to shut my P.O. box down by June, but they had sent it like in February and it just didn't show up. I have a feeling it just got into somebody else's mailbox and they just recycled it. So it happens, right? But these little cards, I do want to, like, if I use up all these stickers, I want to put the cards just somewhere and keep those separate. Because I like to, like, tuck those in and out. Those, to me, are kind of like putting a throw blanket on a couch. They're just really pretty. And you can put it with anything in the front of your, like I like putting them in here, like this one. Here's the January one right there. I just like to have that kind of sticking out there. So, okay, so let me get started. The first sticker is going to be the hardest one to put on. I just wanted to preface that a little bit. Preface? There we go. Preface, not preference. Preface that. And I'm hoping this will start decluttering a little bit. And then after I do this project, I want to redo this somehow. I think a different, like binder cover here somehow. I don't know what, or maybe getting pages where I take all of the stickers off and put them on like sticker paper like this. That sounds like a lot of work I don't have time for. But yeah, so let me get started on this. You can clap the first time I put a sticker down because I'll be a little nervous here starting off. But yeah, I will join you on the other side and let you know how it feels to have these, just the months put in here, just those first big stickers, and then I might fill in for each month. I'll see you on the other side. Okay, just to come back here, I only got one sticker down a month, and you got to see what troubles I got into. So by the time I got to November, I realized, like, wait, should that have been more towards this side of the line? But then I realized most of them are all kind of, I think, lining up with the week number. And you could cover up those week numbers, but some of them, I don't know. Like, I'm not sure. I think they're made to go in the B6s as well. So the A5s might be a little small. This is an A5, by the way. And so, but I noticed most of these, I put them this way to be next to the week numbers. And I think it would have been a little weird to have them right next to it. This one was beautiful. And as you can see, I only collected some the washi sticker material. This November, I think I need to reseed a little bit. Sorry, October. And then these are the matte white ones. In the future, I'd probably just get the washi ones. They really look a little better in there. But I'm like, my overall impression right now is the last best time to have done this would probably be 2024 and matching. But that's the thing, is what I noticed was when I was getting these kits, but I would get them after the fact. I only got the January kit and I just bought it off her website. I never signed up for any of the subscriptions. I just got the kit and then I was like, wow, there's so much in here. I really don't need this. And then I like slowly collected them and I wasn't using them each month because I wouldn't have them in time. I would buy them like a month or two later. And so I would decorate my own thing for the month and then everything got off track. And that's where all of this came from. But yeah, to kind of see like how far off, like how far over the stickers were going. Like this one like goes off over here to the edge. And so you need to put it at least that far over. For April there. March was a little high. But, you know, I can't really take these off now. February, as you could see, I had problems. I definitely had some problems. It got stuck down and I didn't do the, you know, put it on your skin. That would have saved me for that. And then I put this one all the way over because it was, you know, exactly a rectangle. And now I'm like, wait. So I tried to start peeling it back. And I'm like, this is not going to go well. I would have put it more in the middle, but here's my dream. Let me line up like the shot here for as much as I can do. This is what my little heart wanted to see. let's see, can I get 7? I mean, I can, let's see. If I kind of cover them up a little bit. Let's see how many I can fit in here. Oh, I'm almost there. Okay. So let me get that on screen. See if I can hold it all. Just January got hidden a little there. Here we go. So there's my dream. There's my dream. I made it come true. I think what I'll do also, I do really like that. Like there's something satisfying about that. It's the numbers, it's the art, it's the collection, it's all of it. I think what I'll also do is I have the matching, I made a complete mess here. So November, I have all the scripts and some of them have, let's see, August, did it go down here? No. It was about 1 month here that went down. Here we go. So June would have, I was thinking about putting them down here. And that's okay, like that's not part of June. There, I think that's the only one. No, March as well. Okay, so I'm gonna go through and put these down in the corner. I used these other ones when I was making a work planner. I went through and put them in, and so yeah, half of them were gone, but I did want to put this here because you don't see November on this strip at all. And you see the 11. And there's not going to be enough consistency to have enough room up here because there's going to be months that are, you know, using that part. But this part down here should be always available. And I think I'm going to try to just visually put it kind of right there. So I'm going to do that and I'll be right back. Okay, so as you can see, it's taking a while. So yeah, I put those all on the bottoms, and I did notice something very cathartic about this. The two key pieces were these two stickers, because I would always get the script one and this really decorative washi strip kind of piece. And I just kind of double checked as I went through to make sure I had the right year. I definitely do not have December of 24, which actually is pretty gorgeous. It had like the, not Ferris wheel, the one with the animals. Again, words. Carousel. And it's so expensive to get it here. There's a lot to pay on for VAT taxes once it gets here, import taxes. So the question here is, do I want to add a little bit more in here? Because I'm trying to think, like, what else could I use this for? Like, I really could ignore like what year it is and just have like one thing a day in here, which is why I'm hesitating. You know, like, what could I track every day no matter what year it is? Like, I wouldn't do it this year, but maybe something for next year. Oh, I have a pencil here. I can erase these. But the main thing I noticed was I was holding myself back in some ways of waiting for the right circumstances, the right planner, the right everything. Just things had to align in order for me to enjoy what I had. And I kind of knew that in a way. And yet I was, had all this baggage here just holding me back from things. And that's life, right? I don't want to put this all over the floor, so I'm going to try to make a little pile up here that I can vacuum up. We just vacuumed the floors, so I don't want to make another mess. So the question for myself here is, I have quite a few leftover stickers to do the weeks, but I don't think there's enough, like, just for March. I don't have a ton of March left. Like, this is it. Like, I have the little card. I think I'll take all the cards out and put those somewhere separate. So this is what I have for March. Which includes the sampler. And sometimes I don't even know if I have this much, but this is kind of the bare bones. Like, this is February. No, February I have more of. April I have more of. Everything's out right now. It's just kind of a mess. And then I have, these are the 25 ones. And I think what I want to do is take stock, and maybe I'll do that as the last thing. I'll just kind of reorganize these, because this is enough to, make you only need like 3 stickers to make a whole new layout. But as you can see, it's a mix. Like, there's some washi, some not. And my goal is to use these up. So, but when I look at like March, I don't think I have enough for 4 weeks. So here's like a hybrid, which I have more February, I think. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, a good 4 solid weeks. And could I use these I would use them up. Like, have 2 of them have these really big ones. I could do it. I could probably do it. But I think I need to take stock to see if, so then I would just have 2024 stickers in here. Yeah, I don't know. See, that's why I'm just pacing this whole project. So let me put those stickers out and reorganize, and then I'll come back with final thoughts. Because, yeah, I think I just need to gather to see what my next steps will be. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So I removed everything from 24 and 25. So that is all of these, if you can see down here at the bottom. And so when I go to close this, it's definitely a ton better. And here's my thoughts. So the other part here, if you notice down here, this is all I have for 25. Actually, I have October. I liked October a bunch. And yeah, there's like a ton there. And then I have like a November sampler, a September sampler, and then I have April, like April and October were super strong. The February one actually blends in really nice with the current February. And then I just have a little bit of January. So this is where you can see, I mean, we moved in here. So October was like the last one. I think I ordered these with my Sterling Ink core. So that was the only, and I got like, and they forgot to put this, not calligraphy, but script sticker in. They gave me this one instead. And so they shipped that over separately. And that's how I got this one, this little guy, I think, or that might've been by itself. I'm trying to remember how I got this one. And then, yeah, I got these two samplers there. Anyway, regardless. I think what I want to do is take all the samplers and actually start using these. I don't mind, because most of these are all like washi tape and there's just like a few. And I don't think I like need to, especially these don't have anything else associated with them. I took out all the cards. So I have these that I can just, I feel like unanchoring these to the sets. The reason I kept them together because I was like, well, I don't know which set each one is from, but now I kind of look at them now and I can kind of tell. I'm not sure what this one is. They actually don't say on the back. This one I thought was like one of the last ones I got. It might have been a September or October because she was going more architectural with those. But a lot of these were the 24 ones that I have. So I could kind of like put them in order, but I want these separate because they have a different use. And these match April here. That's when they came out, but they're separate. They're actually like they go with that set, but they were released on their own. And I feel like I could use them on their own. I don't know. So what I have left in here, these are my super special ones. These were one of her earlier ones. I don't think I'll ever use these. I do have an August in here that I love. This one I actually do want to use coming up this summer. So I'll dig into those. And then some of these other ones, like I can put samplers in here. And I think I need to empty this out. These were some earlier ones. Again, these are like samplers, and then this card can go there. And then this is just little things I could use wherever. This was before she was, this is from 22. Before all these. So, there's another card here. Another card here. And this was a pretty one. Again, now that okay, so now I'll go into my reflection in October. So it's like mainly like the August and October ones here. I do plan on using, not this August, but I mean, maybe. But I'm kind of tired of this one. This was the October of 23. I got a bunch of it for some reason. So yeah, I put these samplers over here, and this I'll kind of reorganize. But I will reorganize this off camera because I just wanted to show like the last 2 years. And I really want to see how many I was missing. There are just a bunch here. This is April and this is October. So in terms of my dream of opening this up and seeing 2 years worth, I would have to go back and just buy a whole bunch. And I don't even know if they're available, of getting one each of like this washi strip and also one of these script stickers. But again, I don't have any more months on here. I mean, I have a January. I could put this January here. But I don't think I have a December of 23. I don't think that was on my radar at all. I think she was putting the year in here. It might have been this collection. Let's see. And I did, because she numbers them so well, I did have them in order on here. So it would, yeah, so I put like a bunch of October in here, and then, so I don't have a December. I think I could probably use these though, but there's not much on them, and I don't have a month sticker. So anyway, okay, so how do I feel after this is done? That I've had it sitting in the back of my brain for so long. It does feel really good because this is exactly what I wanted to see. I don't think I want to put much else on these right here. I just don't. I think I could at some point maybe plot these. Like right now, this is still usable in 8 years, right? I think 7 or 8 years is what it is. 2032? Was that what I looked up? Is that just 6 years from now? I'd have to check out the description below. I'll look it up after I'm done here. But I really wanted to do this. I'm definitely getting wrinkles in the pages here. But it's supposed to wrinkle, right? It's supposed to get used. But I'm not using this as an everyday carry enough to dive into that. So what I think I'll do is I'm going to take all the pages out of this white binder, those little vinyl holders. I'm going to put these back into those pockets, but I'm going to leave them out of here because it's a whole separate project here. And what I want to do is I'm going to start playing around with weeks and seeing what I can do and just use up as many of that month's stickers in that month that coordinates. So it will coordinate. I think I have enough. So like if I look at December, well, here's a good example. So this is all I have for November. It's just this. Because I wasn't a big fan of the pearls and the jewels. I think it's still gorgeous. So just to be clear, I think her like selection of juxtaposed elements is really fascinating. And there is a lot of thought put into that. There was someone who said lately, I think in the group, like, why did these things, like certain things come together for, I think it was April that they were going to sell soon. I don't know if it was March or April. March should be out. So I think it was April. And then she was rolling into May as well. And I love that she has put out that you can see the designs early instead of them just landing in your mailbox and you just are like, what is this? It doesn't, like she's releasing the designs. I guess she is releasing the like teasers for the designs before, because you want to be able to sign up for them. So she'll release a little teaser, not like the whole layouts of everything, and just say, hey, this is, you can sign up by, I think it's like a month and a half in advance, right? So she can print enough. She was releasing that soon enough that I guess people could pause their subscription, but it's more about a teaser to get people to subscribe. I can see how it would swing both ways, but just the combination of things I find really evoke a lot of like memories and thought process, and also seeing through her eyes what she's experienced throughout her life, like what she has memories of. And like, because she talks about the wisteria being part of her wedding, and so I imagine like a lot of this is tied to what she's just inspired of and what she enjoys and what just kind of comes to her at times. I know one time she did people, like the backs of people, and she will never do that again. She was like, nope. It's, some people like to have like representation of like women or people in their stickers, and a lot of people didn't. So that's okay. Like, the reason I'm using these is because I do love them, and I do love thinking differently and I feel like these stickers do that. I think that's the core of this. And I think I also have seen these so much every time I go into my sticker collection that I'm associating them to that time in my life. which is hard because 24 and 25 are rough years. But we also were making transitions. I had 23 was my hard year. A lot happened that year. And so I don't exactly have that connotation. So I was feeling a lot better. I had some major surgery then and then got a good news after that. And these don't have like exact bad connotations, but I feel like they're dated, I guess. And I'm associating them with like before times. And what I did right now was to put 24 stickers in my 25 book, and it's 26. So what do I do with that info? It means that I'm freeing up the ties that I'm associating with this. And I'm sorry this is such a long video, but I find this really fascinating of a mental kind of exercise to then look at these totally differently, really start to use them all up, and what new things can come out of this. We all have they all have like a timeless feel to them, right? Like I'm associating a month to them because I'm categorizing them as months and going, okay, I will always see this is July of 24. So I'm saying it's old because I know that's the date associated. But if you look at all of these, the designs that she does is timeless. It's very much is like classic and sometimes taking some risks. I think a lot of times taking some risks, because there's a lot of times people are like, oh, I don't know if I resonate with this. But you're not supposed to resonate with all of them because you're just supposed to admire them. It's like beauty and art. So, and there are those who just don't dig this style at all. There's very much, to me, you could blend these with, the little ones that look like little drawn people. There's a few out there, but the primary one I'm talking about, like you can mix those together, but this is very much her style, is like calligraphy script with flowers, with architecture, because that's her background. And I'm glad I didn't have these kits and stick with them when these months were happening, because during those months I really needed to use totally different sticker kits, and I couldn't use these now also, like in my current book, as I said. So this is the experiment. How do I put them in this book from last year? How do I put this in experiment and have the freedom to use up what I can? And yeah, so that's where I'm going to let things sit, because I got I was unmoored. I was untethered. I'm looking at these things from a totally different viewpoint. We're coming up on a year of being here. So that's put some distance. You know how you have those like boxes that you open up that were from a couple years ago, but now you've been through a bunch of stuff. I said stuff. And then you look at it with new eyes. And so that's what's happening during this whole process. And I don't know what I'll call this series. You'll see it probably in the title somewhere, and I'll collect these up. But it's all about using old stickers like this, and like some of the other old stickers I have, I can use now in my main planner, no problem. But it's just these that I had too much emotional weight in, and now I feel a bit lighter. And then I just have to figure out what I'm going to do for the weeks here and what I'm going to do. There's something beautiful happening, and we'll see what that is. And I'll keep sharing. So I hope you enjoyed this, and stay tuned. If you enjoyed this, consider liking it on the way out. Consider subscribing so you can see where this project goes. And I'll see you next time. And also, leave any comments down below. for anything, because I would love to hear your take. I would love to hear any inspiration you have or ideas where I could take this. Again, my whole concept is trying some new weekly layouts, but what else could I do? What could I do with these months that I could do with any year and just ignore the numbers or days of the week? I do have new days of the week stickers for some of these. Not for all. I don't have them for all. But January I do. I could just put different. Yeah, I don't know if that works either. And I don't want to renumber everything, so I would rather kind of fill this up and then see if I could use it in the future. But if I'm doing trial layouts, then I can't really use it in the future. So let me know what you think. I really would like to know. Take care, everyone, and I will see you next time, whenever that will be. I'm not sure how often. It might be another week or so. So take care. Bye.